All right. Well, hello. I have a little bit of a cold and I'm so sorry, so I might sound a little weird. Annika, just to answer your question, today's coffee it's a knockoff of Charlie Brown's Great Pumpkin special, but it's the Great Pumpkin, Mrs. Brown. So that's what this is. Anyways, pumpkin flavored. It's ridiculous. I know. Oh, Michelle, best message ever. Audio and video is good. So good to see you, Sam. Making sure everything's working as well. Good to see you, Andreas, Frank, Froja, again, Clarissa. I'm just so happy to be here. If you guys notice, I got. If you're, I don't know if you care. But I do have a Band-Aid on my face because I was attacked by monsters, honestly. But those Monster energy drinks, I was putting them up in like a case of them, and they all fell on my face. And one of them cut me right under, like, right on the cheek. So that's what the Band-Aid's all about. Feel a little weird about it, but now you know. So I've missed Frank as well. You know, it's a good sabbatical. You're in the right position when, like, what you do on sabbatical, honestly, days are not that much different from what I normally do, which is designing, which is exactly what we're going to do today. So I'm so excited about this. Like, seriously, I spent so much time, like, still designing and playing a ton of squash, and I went to Portugal and did all that sort of stuff. So no Corona monster, but yeah, I'm beat up. I feel beat up right now, a little beat up, but again, so excited. And Afrosia, I've missed you, and Jan, I missed you. Oh, good to see you guys. So we're gonna do some complex patterns if that is cool. Hopefully you like the real life sort of background and all that. We're gonna dive into this, making complex patterns, but starting out with sort of really basic shapes. So this will be fun. So yes, fight with the monster. Can you believe it? The nerve of that monster. How dare it? It just clobbered me in the face. And it's trying to match the other scar I have on my other cheek that I got when I was like 2. And my mom was like, I don't need to take you to the hospital. You're fine. I never liked guys with pretty little faces anyways. It gives you some character. That's what my mom thought and decided not to take me to the hospital when I cut my cheek open. I was like, Mom, can I have a Band-Aid? So yeah, that's my 2 cents there. It's like, Mom, just take me to the hospital, please. All right, now give me a Band-Aid. All right. Reverb Mike, I swear you are so insightful, and I'm so happy to have you, by the way, around. It's just like I love all your comments, man. Into it. So again, we can start out with some basic shapes, right? I've just been using all these lovely tools right in here. Super simple, right? Polygon tool. You're thinking, okay, it doesn't obviously have to be a polygon. That's how I make my triangles. Did you know you can also make triangles with the star as well? As we drag that out, hitting the down arrow, and all of a sudden I have a triangle as well. So kind of do what you want, right? I could have this sort of like star burst. Yeah, I'm like a double villain, Tim. I got a scar on each cheek. I don't know, it's like I'm trying to prove to people that I'm tough. If you hold down the Option key, by the way, that's when you get more of a shallow connection between the points. I'm going to hold down the Command key or Control key on the PC, and now we can start to play with that sort of going in and out. I'm just holding down the Control key on a Mac, right? And that's how we can sort of make any sort of badge or burst, which is kind of cool. So we'll be able to work with all these shapes. I'm not going to do as many points, so I'm, again, down arrow, right? Command key to get sort of this burst again. We can even go back to sort of your traditional star. If you want a true star with true right angles, that's when you hold down the Option key. So that's essentially what that does. And then I can even hold down the Shift key, and then we have our sort of true star, and it looks great. All right, Nourish, it's good to see ya. How's everybody doing this fine Friday? It's Friday, folks. You guys excited about this? I hope so, right? Just working on one layer. we're going to add some more shapes, and we're going to sort of like, I want to show you where to get additional items and stuff like that. So let's just kind of get this started. Cool. Sean's in the house. All right, so we have obviously this star. We have this shape right here. We might even get a little more complex right in here. So as you may or may not know, and welcome everyone if it is your, I don't know, first time, like it kind of feels like my first time here, you have different options for making patterns. So let's make some patterns, huh? Let's actually just duplicate that. Let's bring this over. A lot of people would actually like search for pattern, and that's what you can do. You can actually go right over here. Let's just check this out. I almost am, I want you guys to be aware of this. So right up here, this is your help, which, you know, sounds dumb to talk about, but it's in multiple places. And this is brand new. This opens up the Discover panel. So right in here, I can type pattern like that. We'll type in pattern. And then you get these sort of different options. I can see all results. But these are basically what's available. Now, if I type in, say, star, actually, I don't even know if it's called star. There we go, star tool. Check this out. Here's the star tool. Click on that. Shows me the star tool and shows it off to the side. So if you're ever looking for something, so again, forget this sort of basic help. Use this one. Go to your Discover panel. Type in, say, star tool, because let's face it, like Illustrator is the most complex app, especially when it comes to tools. Because this stuff is like, these tools are all, look at how crazy, there's like so many, and there's all this stuff. So again, if you're looking for something, type it in there and it will highlight rectangle, which you probably know where that is, but it highlights it for you and you're well on your way. So I think that was kind of neat. Thank you for that, Tim. Cool. So that's how that is. That's where those items are. And again, I'm just kind of going through your train of thought. You're like, okay, I'm going to make a pattern. I go in here, select pattern, select make. We'll get into all of this stuff, right? Here's our pattern options. This pops up. I get these sort of like 50% or 70% grayed out, if you will, or kind of opacity. But this is sort of showing me the tile, right? We can see it right here. We're doing a grid. We can shift that brick by row, and now we get something like a little more interesting. What we could also do is we could take this, we could duplicate it. Boop. Right? We could flip it. We could move it off to the side and sort of lock it up if we want to, at least close to locking it up, kind of like that. So now you can see kind of how this starts to fit together, sort of this brick by row. Even what I do in this case is kind of change, not change the stroke color, change the fill color, right? You get the idea, and there's your pattern. Oh, Michelle, you're too kind. You know, it's been around forever, so yeah, it's easy to get overwhelmed since it has so many features and everything. I'll do a Command Y. This just shows me the outlines, by the way, and now I can decide if I want to like line this up exactly, right? And you can have these snap into place as well. So again, when you get to creating complex patterns, all this stuff gets to be really important. Snap to point, snap to glyph. You can snap to the grid. I'm not currently showing a grid. Oh yeah, we can show smart guides as well. So now you can start to see how this, you know, I get this thing that says path, right? And I can click on it. And now it kind of tells me when I line it up. It's like, hey, intersecting, boom. Snaps into place. We're good to go right there. Shablam or shablamo. I don't know. Does the world need more shablamos? Maybe. Who knows? Okay, so that's how you create something perfect. You want this sort of alignment doing Command Y or Control Y, right? That's going to line it up perfectly. What happens here now, you're noticing this stroke is off, right? The stroke is messing with us, right? And what we need to do there is instead of having this stroke in the middle of the line, we want to have it on the inside, right? So we have full control over that as well. Thank you to our properties panel. We'll go over here, we'll click right here, and then we can see right in here, oh, align stroke to the inside. Okay, so go to stroke, align on the inside, and you can see what it does there. I need to also do it with this one, so I'll select this one, go to stroke, align on the inside. You get the idea. Obviously, there's a gap here on both sides. I can fix that as well. Again, we're making perfect patterns, we're making complex patterns, all sorts of things. But I kind of want to take this, and I'm checking the size. The width and height should match this triangle. So that's the problem. When I created this pattern initially, it will do the size of your graphic. And you can always change that. We can make this 2 by 2, right? And expand that out. And you can see all the gap that it makes. But really what I want to do is I'm going to make it the width the same size. Boom. And the height the same size. Stealing that from the properties panel. Shoop, deep, boop, done. Boop, boop, boop. Right? We've created that pattern. All right. Just press LLL and you have lines of triangles. I don't know what that means. I'm pressing LLL. Anyway. Okay, so let's take a look. Because you're like, where the heck, once you click done, like, where the heck did my pattern go? Well, guess what? It's right in here. In fact, we will do the large thumbnail view. Ugh, yeah. There it is. Right in here. New pattern 15. Good job, Paul, on naming that correctly. Good job. Way to do that. Double click on it, and we're back into our new pattern 15. We're going to call this triangle, because it's our triangle pattern. Not that complex, but again, we got to start somewhere. We'll click done. Here's our pattern. And again, you can see it being applied appropriately. Let me zoom out. Let's play. Man, I want to get into this more crazy stuff is the idea. But I still want to show you guys how this works, right? So let's take this. Let's just let me show you this. I'm going to drag out this graphic. That looks a little weird. But here's the question. How do you change this pattern? How do you make it smaller now that you have it inside of this square? Okay? And this could be a person. It could be anything, right? Let's just draw this out. Let's just try to make something a little bit more interesting, Paul. I don't know. Some interesting, it kind of looks like, stained glass window. You could use this scale tool, right? Use the scale tool if you want to scale it down. And actually, if you double click on the scale tool, this will allow you to scale down the patterns. So I double clicked on the scale tool, and now I can just uncheck this stuff, and I can scale it down, say 50%. Boom. There we are, right? You get the idea. That's cool. Let's go up to 200%. That's not that's cool. It's not. What's more fun is taking the scale tool, hold down. You ready for this, Becca? Yeah. Becca, you nailed it. So yeah, the tilde key. Zoop. It's just much better. Tilde key will allow you to scale it and distort it. If you're distorting it, you should be able to hold down the shift key. But I'm scaling it down. and you know, obviously making something more complex, as you can see. What about rotating? Same thing. Right, we'll go in here. We'll use the rotate tool. Same thing. If we double click on it, we can say, hey, you know, rotate the pattern. Sure, we could rotate it 30 degrees, like so. Okay. Or again, hold down that magic tilde key with the rotate tool selected, and we can rotate this ourselves as well. Right? So the options are limitless. Yeah, so it very much does have a stained glass look to it. Let's double click on this and notice as I rotated it with the tilde key, it wasn't perfect. That's when I would actually go into the rotate tool. Again, double click on it and you can get that sort of 30 degrees, you know, sort of figure out something a little bit more exact for this. And I don't know what's going to be, you know. Yeah, 37 degrees. Just make sure they're whole numbers. Right? Cool. Tiago, what's up, buddy? Good to see ya. Can we do more fun stuff? Can we please, Paul? Can we get more complex patterns in here? Can we start layering them one on top of the next? I want to do like 1,000 things. So I'm just going to run with it and have some fun, because that's what we should do as designers. You know what? It doesn't matter if you're making money or not. Just like if you're enjoying the process as well, and that's one thing I thought a lot about on sabbatical, is just like enjoying the process of creating. You know, it's not always about the outcome. It's just like kind of having fun with you know, creating. So I think that's like become, you know, important to me. All right, so here's a fun star. We're gonna do something else here, right? We're like, this is cool. This is not organic. So this is very much our geometric sort of design that we could do all day long. So maybe I'll do that a couple more ways. Zoop, zoop. Let me just stick with geometric, and then we're going to get into organic. Take this, do a different color, make it a little more interesting. Come in here, go to object. We did pattern already, right? I want to go into these repeat elements, because essentially repeat elements are patterns, right? So that's what I'm going to do. Go into Radial. Boom. Bah. And then again, just like kind of have fun and watch the magic happen as we kind of flip these around and do different things, right? What's cool about this is as I go into it, I'll double click. I'll just grab an ellipse, you know, draw out a little dot here. We will take... I really want to change the thickness of some of this, but again, I'm just going to kind of have fun creating. Again, we're just playing, and that's okay, right? I'll select some of these, and I'm just drawing random shapes, but I did a pretty good job of, you know, it just makes it look very uniform, even though my selection of elements is kind of crazy and chaotic. Let's go. I feel like this should be brighter. You know, you get the idea. What does that look like to you? Right? Again, I'm inside of Radial Repeat, editing those, and it does its thing, right? Let's get out of there. Boop. We'll go back. And again, we have this radial element, right? This radial element, keep in mind, as I scale this down, this is what happens. See how these lines get thicker, right? Does this ever happen to you, Afroja? You probably know about this, but I swear out of all the preferences that I deal with, I use this one. I'm always changing this one. So we'll go into general preferences, and right up here, you can see scale, strokes, and effects. I actually want to turn that on, right? But let me cancel this first. Let me get it to the right size. There we go. Something kind of like that. But basically, if I go into general, scale, strokes, and effects, and now everything's like back to normal. Cool. Oh, okay. So you're talking about like dingbats. Ah, I got it, Mike. Cheers. All right. So here we go. We have this, right? We have this done. Let's start to make this more complex by layering things together. So we can take this element. Let's just go into like repeat, and we'll go into like grid. And now we've taken that repeat element and repeated it via grid, right? So this is interesting, right? So we obviously have this. We can start to tighten this up by using these controls. Tighten it up this way, tighten it up the columns and the rows, right? And again, what I'm doing essentially here is layering this together, right? What else could we do? Many things. By the way, if you don't like using these controls, you do have these controls on the sides. Off to the side right here, repeat options. If you're really particular, you're like, no, this has to be 0. Yeah, you do you, right? Also, what's just like what I did in the pattern maker is right over here, we can offset this grid. Brick by row, right? And then brick by column. So adjusting those columns and adjusting the rows accordingly. And obviously, like flipping them, you won't be able to tell that because obviously it's like a symmetrical object, right? Zoop, zoop, zoop. So it's up to you which one you want to use. This one does remind me of XD, and this is like an okay pattern. So I'm about ready to fire myself as a designer, almost, because this is not that good. I'm gonna fire myself. I'm still gonna fire myself. You're fired, Paul. Let's get some better designs in here, shall we? Let's do that. I don't have it with me. On the shelf behind me is a lovely pattern book that I kind of want to grab, and I can show you a thing or two from Portugal. All right, so here I am. So again, like, get inspiration wherever you can. A lot of this came from, again, like, this is just a book, but like in Portugal, there's a ton of really cool patterns, tiles, throughout Lisbon and all the various cities. You'll see a lot of this blue and white. So that's kind of where some of this inspiration is coming from. Is this type of work, which I think is so cool. Oh, Sean loves Porto. Awesome. Like, look at this. Like, get inspiration different places. And try not to, you don't have to worry about overthinking it. It's so cool. Some of this stuff gets really complex, but a lot of these are made up of geometric shapes. I wanted to get into something a little bit more organic, is the goal. And we can start working with text as well. Okay. 1,000 things going through my mind right now. Can you do a font pattern? Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, so, and this is okay. Let's just move that off to the side. You want to get rid of, by the way, oh, sorry, I'm not showing my screen. Get back in it to win it, people. So moved everything off to the side. A lot of your canvases might look like this, or your documents. Do Shift-Command-H, so that will hide. It's also right up here under View. So hide the page view, wherever that is. Oh, hide artboards or show artboards. So that's what I like to do. It's like, don't give me any boundaries. Jump on in here and, again, start creating. I'm going to still do a little bit of, like some more things with text and other things. Okay. If that's cool. Bobby Orlando, request from Bobby Orlando. Bobby, your name sounds made up. You sound like a cool guy in the 80s. Like, you sound like you belong in the movies. That name is straight from the movies, I swear. Okay, so let's take this. Again, when I talk about patterns, I think it's just like things repeating. We'll do this really fast. Ba, 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 ba. Let's do that. We have these multiple. Let's open this up. Make this easier to select. Boom. Let's have some fun, but not pick. I need purple. There we go. Some sort of non-standard, really into vibrant colors. But let's do this. Let's take all 5 of these. We will go to our blend tool, which you've all seen and probably know and love, right? And yeah, we can start kind of playing with that. Boom, 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 boom. Why is it turning black? Well, because it's the black stroke. So let's just change that. Specified steps if you double click on the blend tool. So we can change it down to 50 if we want to. Boom, there we are. We blended all those together. We want to, again, it's kind of our transition from geometric to organic because I will have a line. So just hit N for the pencil and I'll just kind of draw out something not too crazy. Paul, what are you even doing? But let's just kind of draw something out like, ooh, no. Oh, there we go. That's good. Here's our line, right? And I want to replace this, that shape with this line. So I'm going to want this new line to be the spline. Let's take that object. I don't know if I'm going too fast. We'll go into blend and we'll go to replace spine. Did I say spline? Very similar. Replace it. And there we have that sort of shape. So we could start adding to this and making this look like a pattern as well. So let's take this, we'll shrink it down. I love the idea of just having all these interweaving colors and shapes and just making something awesome. So let's take that. Like, I want a whole pattern of these like wormy colors kind of coming together. But I also want to like play with these colors a little bit more as well. Checking the time, I got 30 minutes to do this. This is super fun. All right, so we have this. I'm going to make this, I think I'm going to make this look kind of cool, but you know, I've been wrong before. Let's take this and let's just go ahead and expand it. So we'll go to object, blend, we'll go to expand. So now it's going to be all these shapes. I get it. That's why I duplicated it. So we could always go back to that other one, but I'll come in here and I'll like take some of these. This is what I want to do. Ungroup it. And I use this all the time. I'm just surprised at like how much I use this, but I love randomly filling shapes with colors that I have defined. Okay. So right up here, I want to take all these shapes and I want to fill them with these cool colors that I have selected over here. Selected those colors. Here they are, selected those shapes. This happens to be a script. I'll go over here. That's called Random Swatches Fill. And I've talked about it plenty because I love it. And God bless the creator. I don't know who made it. Let's go. Random Swatches Fill. Done, right? So that saved me so much work and gives me this kind of fun like transition from one color to the next. So I'll select these green ones. Oops, so sorry. What am I zooming in so much for? You know, these, you know, greens. And in this case, we'll select the, maybe even a yellow. I don't know. You know, that stack. Random swatches fill. Right? So we just get this cool look, I think. Let's go down here. We'll sort of tack on a yellow. Random swatches fill, right? So it's like a cool look. It's just less boring is the goal, right? Let's make it a little bit more interesting. And not just your, you know, what can be perceived as kind of a boring gradient. Okay, we're dipping more into. Actually, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so we'll get into. By the way, I'm like, so we could come in here. We will select command click. So we're gonna go from. There we go. Let's do that. Sort of yellow to purple. Isn't it nice? Oh, good. 80s vibes. Man, yeah, I don't know. You know, it's so... Do you guys get... Yeah, I'm like... Yeah, I'm all about those bright colors right now. Or maybe it's 80s, but, you know, it definitely grabs your attention. By the way, one thing I'd love to talk about is also trends. Would love to get into trends for 2022. Since I was out all of January, let's talk about those new trends. Those are kind of the wrong colors. It's like too harsh of a transition. So let's pick up some of these. Let's throw some purple. Let's do that. Let's do that. And you get the idea. There we go. Better transition. We're just having fun today, people. Living our life. Selecting random colors. Let's throw that in there, that in there. Yeah, let's throw a yellow. You never know. It's fun watching things come to life. Last one, we want these to be more true reds. All warm colors. One purple. I don't know. What do you think? There we go. Let's do that. Scripts, random swatches, fill. There we go. Okay, we're done. We're not really done. We only did like one small part. New trends, NFTs, Web3. Did they all end? Are we over NFTs and Web 3.0? And did they all end and I didn't know? Yeah, the new show is returning in 2022. Not to worry. Might do some adjustments to it. And we got some more stuff planned. I'm excited about like another new show that I want to get involved in and we'll be creating. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Let's take that. You know what? If your artboards don't look like this, are you even a designer? If it doesn't get messy like this, are you even designing, right? Let's just group those. Maybe duplicate this, maybe rotate it, right? We'll start to link these together and do some fun stuff. But again, as soon as you get something fun like this, you can say, hey, you know what would this look like if it was a pattern? I still don't understand it. By the way, I'm going to do a live stream on NFTs. I literally might do it next week just because I've gotten so many questions on it, like internally and externally. Okay, so notice how these two do look like they're, similar, and we want to shift the colors, right? This is the easiest way to do this, and, hopefully everybody's on board with it. We'll go to Edit Colors, right? And we can recolor artwork. We don't want to go too crazy, but now that we have all these individual colors in here, we can go to Edit, right? Make sure this is locked. Is it locked? Clicked, locked. And then I usually will take this orange, grab any color and rotate it to the other side because we want it to be the opposite. Boom, like that. So we've basically taken that, we've reversed all the colors in like one motion. Super easy to work with. And we're still within sort of the same family, right? And again, there that is. We can start to put that behind if we want to. And what we want to do is we ultimately want to like disguise these ends as well. Just checking out chat. If you're joining me from elsewhere, I'm so sorry. I've not been reading chat elsewhere. Again, I'm new here. EAI Designs in the house. See a Lorianne. Good. Oh, good. From Argentina, people are on. So again, we're getting all these cool, interesting shapes kind of intertwining. let's see what happens if we turn this into a pattern. So let's select this. We'll go to object based on what we learned earlier. Let's just do a grid, right? I just want to do a grid. Do what you want, people. Create what you want. See what happens, right? This is all now repeating. We want to tighten this up. So we'll grab this control point. We'll pull it together like so. And you can see this craziness. It's still a pattern, but I'm just trying to make this, you know, geometric object as organic as possible. And the goal ultimately will be to, you know, make it look like it's not a pattern, which is why I was shifting all those colors and trying to make it as crazy as possible. So yeah, that's kind of what I have so far. It's crazy. I don't know. Is it too much? Maybe. Cool thing about this, we select this, we'll go to object, we'll go down to repeat. Remember, we were just mirroring it, right? We can actually, let's do this. Let's change some of these options by going into the properties panel, and we'll shift brick by row or brick by column, right? And we'll get some interesting. There we go. That might be better. Grid type. Yeah. Still not a fan of that orange circle, but you know, it's getting there. I've only been working on this for 10 minutes. I designed the DNA of a new species. Norsh, how fun is that? Sorry if I got a little loud, but man, what a fun idea. I love that thought. What does the DNA of an alien look like? Yeah, I don't know. But hey, can we design it and make it look pretty? Okay, so there that is. Yeah, I'd say that looks pretty good. Cool thing is, we double click, right? We can now go into this particular shape and decide how we want to, you know, handle that circle issue, because that's what I'm realizing. Let's go ahead and, do I have it selected? Let's select it. Oh, I'm moving it too, by the way. Oh, I love that. Look at that. Look at this squirmy worm, alien worm thing, right? Just kind of moving it around and trying to get rid of the gaps and make something kind of unique. Okay. May the circle remain unbroken. That's a line from a movie. So we have our character for our movie. We have our a key line, a little bit of wisdom. Okay, let's make this seamless. You ready for this? So glad I have time. This is working out great. Tell me, Norsh and Bliss, tell me this doesn't bother you. This has to bother you. Like, how do you get rid of that? Right? So that's what we'll do right now. Because we need to fix it. Take this, copy it. I'll move this off to the side. Heck, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to this guy. Paste. Is this grouped? Good. Anyways, I don't know if you really want to see this, but my thought is, like, how do you get rid of this? You could draw something new. You can take a piece that we already have. I'm taking this piece that we already have. Do I, though? You know I'm working when I start to get a little quiet. Let's flip it again. There we go. Let's have it go in on top of itself. There we go. And then we'll match the color. Boom, boom. That's going to connect there. We're going to rotate it and just kind of see what happens. There we go. We'll have that do that, and we're going to have it disappear behind right back here. So this will actually be pretty easy. Double click, come inside, grab these. If you ever have a problem selecting, guess what? Jump in here, grab, will that actually work? Okay, I'll grab all this stuff, cut it. Oop. Hold on. Let's do this. I'm going to try this. I'm going to use this lasso tool. I don't know if the lasso tool is going to grab whole objects. Nope. But let's just grab this. I just need this. I actually only need this many. So let's cut that. Let's delete this. Let's go back out. Oh, let's paste. Paste. Let's take this piece, lock that down. Don't mind me. Let's delete some of these. There we go. I might even just mask this out. That's what I think I'm going to do. All right, let's mask this out, shall we? So again, this one is on top. That's the one that I want to mask. Let's just create our mask. Pen tool. Bam. Turn that off. Right. Follow that arch. If I wanted to get exact, I actually have the original spline. My original. Why am I calling everything a spline these days? Why am I calling it a... What is that all about? A spline? Is this 3D? There is 3D in... Oh, man, we should be doing that. There we go. There's our shape. Right? So here's our objects. Group this. Take these two. Make clipping mask. Bam. Made our clipping mask. And now we can turn this on. Now we have that going underneath. Now we got it. Are you guys happy? Are you happy now? Whew. Yeah. There it is. Let's take this. Let's have some fun with it. And again, I would probably play with these colors as well, to be honest with you. I would still play with these colors. Let's turn off everything else. And jump in here. Grid repeat. Shoop. Smash it together. Have it overlap. Have it shift. Play with the rows and columns. Right? That's better. And then we still have access to the actual object. So we'll jump in here. We can move this around. I want to rotate it though. Ooh. There we go. All right, you guys got it. You guys get the idea. Are we cool? Are we cool, everybody? You know, Frank, pushing layer 4 under layer 2 didn't work because there was another part that was going to be on top, so it didn't work. I thought it was, and I needed to... It wasn't going to work. So, yeah, I thought it was too. That was my first thought. Good call. All right, so cool. All right, let's move on. You guys got this. I wanted to grab some more shapes too, but I think this turned out pretty well. Kind of want to tighten it up a little even more. There we go. Close a lot of those gaps. Oh yeah, there we go. Man, I can't stop messing with it. This is why you're always late to dinner, right? I'll tell you that right now. This is why I'm always late to dinner. Like you're like, I want to do a little bit more, right? Is it just me? Let's copy this. Let's go out. Let's paste it. Right? So we could just take pieces of this and start to fill it in. So that's all I'm doing. Let's take this piece as well. Let's rotate it. Send it to the back. Oh, that is already in the back. And then break it. All right, everyone. Let's move on. I have 10 minutes, so you know I'm gonna try to not wait till the very last minute before starting a new project. But I do want to start a new project. Okay. Anyways, back to normal. We're almost there. All right. Anyways, we created our complex pattern. That's all I wanted to do. Yeah, there's some white in there that we could easily hide, right? I would literally take this pattern, duplicate it, and then like rotate it. Wait for it. Repeat. There we go. Okay, we're done. All right. Sorry about that. That took way too long. But such is life. Let's grab some more shapes and get this party started, shall we? Or continue this party. Name your paths. Oh, help me. Help me. That's pretty cool, though. Taking that, we'll take that. We could, like, release it. We could always go into edit colors. So... edit. Let's. Wait for it. Expand. All right, so I just expanded those repeat grids. So anyway, all right, let's move on to another one. My friend. Okay, so we were going to do a text one. I wanted to get into some more organic stuff. I wanted to also kind of jump into Photoshop. This is a design masterclass. I was going to spend most of my time in Illustrator, but I do want to point out that in Photoshop, this is what I typically will sometimes do. If I need some good graphics, I'll jump in here and I'll just open up shapes. So you have all these shapes in Photoshop that I'll straight up like steal and bring into Illustrator, right? So again, in here, and if you don't have these, you can open up legacy shapes and more, right? And add those. So that's where a lot of these have come from. But I think what's cool in here are some of these flowers. You know me. Did you honestly think that I wasn't going to use some flowers today? Oh man, boy, are you mistaken. We'll grab some flowers and some leaves. Right? So use these graphics, right? Take them. Here they are. Right? We could use Photoshop, quite frankly, or we could bring these into Illustrator. So pick your poison. Whatever you want to do, folks. Right? I think I will actually stay in Photoshop if you don't mind, just because I think we've exhausted Illustrator. But I still wanted to do text, so that's the one part that I'm like, did not quite get to. The short of it is you can, let me show you one more thing, okay? Because I want to make sure I'm answering everybody's questions. Again, we can take these and make that a pattern. Let me show you one more thing in Illustrator really fast, if I could. Let's do. Just taking a second to look at Friday. Just type in Friday. Why not? Boom, boom. Nice and thick. Change the color. Get something fun going on is the idea. We would typically want to make this look really fun, but we could do a number of things with this text. What I did want to show you, because when it comes down to patterns, we can actually go into transform. So distort and transform, go to transform. Okay, probably I'll go ahead and make this statement. The most powerful effect in Illustrator, right next to the new 3D features. But right in here, why is this cool? So we have copies, so we can make 50 copies, and we can adjust the angle by 5 degrees. 50 is too many. Let's go down to 5. But you can see what it's doing. So essentially, yeah, let's make this 20 degrees. You can see it rotate around. The angle we could do. Man, my brain is not working. I don't know. By the way, did you know you can do this? Here's another pro tip. This is for Michelle and Norsh and Reverb Mike, all you smart people out there. In here, anytime you have a numeral, right, a number, you could hit the up or down arrow and it'll start toggling through. Because in this case, I don't know how many it's going to take to get back around to make that complete circle, because I did not do the math. Right? So that's what I'm doing. We could also make that warp, so we can have it scale down 90 degrees, right? You can see it doing sort of twirling down. I'll click OK, call that Friday. We kind of have a repeating pattern. Would take this. I would typically, create outlines and go into expand appearance. So now we have all of these vector paths that we can then recolor if we want. Actually, we don't want to recolor, but again, I just want to do this really fast. And I'm going to try not to get cut off because I'm so excited about being back. I could easily see myself. Getting cut off, getting carried away, but I also get to do oh, there's compound paths in here. That's the problem. But anyways, let's just change one of these. You get the idea. Okay. So yeah, use this. This is probably the simplest version of this that I've ever done. But feel free, jump in here, grab, boom, rectangle, take a corner, all of the corners except for one. Some days are like this. I just want to do this cool teardrop shape. Rotate it in, kind of like that. Boom. Take that. Be mindful, by the way, I can always move the center point too. But let's take this. Let me show you one more thing. Distort and transform. Into transform. You know, we want to make 40 copies. Rotated 15 degrees. And then offset right down here on this point. Right down at the bottom. Okay. And it goes all the way around. Let's flip it. Boom. There we have sort of our sort of spiral look that's done as well. So thank you, everybody. You guys are awesome. I feel like I've created a lot in a short amount of time. I never have enough time, but I'm so glad I get to live stream later today as well. So this is going to be good. And yeah, so thanks so much for joining me today. Creating complex patterns. I think we did that. You could start stacking them one on top of the next. And it could get crazy. So thanks so much. I'm going to let you guys go, and I get to see you for the Photoshop Masterclass very soon. So thank you so much, everybody, and I'll see you soon.